There's a lot more up ahead on the show as well. Food and retailing stories. Tesco and its entire back-end ramp-up in Bangalore. Tesco's India's secret, that's what we'll talk about a little ahead on the show. But now, what could be just some sort of a warning to the controversy of the battle of bandwidth. The TRAI chief has turned out and said, clear the mess in this whole battle for spectrum, because it's high time Telecom finds some clarity so that players and the government can take ahead their policy in their own stride.
He's created headlines throughout the past year, and at the end of 2007, Nupendra Mishra, India's telecom regulator, stands vindicated. After all, it was thanks to his recommendations on subscriber norms that a compromise could finally be reached between the industry and the government. But the regulator is still losing sleep over the problem of plenty, the 545 applications that have flooded DOT, and the lack of clarity on guidelines. In fact, Mishra insists that the time has finally come to change UASL guidelines before it leads to many more cross-connections and litigations.
The time has come to make it little more transparent, make it better known. People who are applying must know what they are in for, so that there is no litigation. They should be told what are the prospects in spectrum. They should be told what is the kind of a vertical growth that they will have. They should be told whether they will be permitted merger acquisition. They should be told whether they can resell their license. For all these things should be in black and white.
In fact, it also seems that India's telecom regulator has had enough of the scramble for spectrum and now wants the static in connections to finally end. And despite the telecom minister's regulations of changing UASL guidelines after applications have come in, Mishra insists it is better to clear the mess now than wait for it to get worse.
It will create the kind of tremors which may not be acceptable to the applicants. I don't think should be the prime consideration. Because if it is not acceptable today, the acrimonious litigation perhaps will be a lot more as down the line.
But despite the unprecedented interest in the telecom sector, not a single letter of intent has been issued. The government is now cautiously moving on that front with the matter before the High Court. But for now, one thing is for certain, that the problem of plenty has begun to haunt India's telecom regulator and the government, who will now have to take quick decisions to avoid any more friction in the already fractious industry. In New Delhi, Supriya Srinivasan for NDTV.